Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate the opportunity to work with our partners at ADI, and hopefully we provide some information here this morning for you. As Michael said, the webinar is being recorded. It's going to be posted up on the ADI site. We also will try to get that posted up on the Digital Watchdog site, so you'll have this in both locations for future reference. Just a little quick agenda for today. We're going to talk about a little bit about Digital Watchdog. For those of you that don't know us, we'll do a quick little introduction. Then we'll get into the product itself, which is the elevated skin temperature system, and cover some questions to consider when you're looking at deploying some technology like this, and also show you where you can find some additional resources and so forth for the product itself. And then, as Michael said, if you have any questions, please put them into the chat. We'll try to get to them here in the time allotted. If we can't get to them, we certainly will get back to you with some answers, or we'll get some people in front of you to get your questions answered as well. So little quick background on Digital Watchdog for those of you that don't know. I see a lot of familiar names in the list here, but just in case, we're founded in 1987, so been in business for quite a long time. I'm based out of the Tampa, Florida office. We have our headquarters in Southern California in Cerritos. We have our R&D and manufacturing facility in South Korea, and we also have another manufacturing facility in Vietnam. So, we're specialized in the video surveillance market. And so, with those manufacturing facilities, we manufacture all of our products in South Korea, Vietnam, and Taiwan. We do meet NDAA compliance with a lot of our products. We have that listed on our website. You can always go check that out for today's environment with the product itself. So Digital Watchdog, we've led with innovation, and it's really for us, it's about the user experience and how the user interacts with the product. And so over the timeline here, we've worked to release groundbreaking technology, whether it's our Spectrum video management software, to our Megapix CAS product, as well as our VMAX lineup. We have a long history in the video surveillance market with our products. You'll find a lot of that information on our website. We have a number of resources on the website, from the partner program to installation videos, documentation, an online knowledge base. You can reach out through that knowledge base and talk to our technical support team, create tickets right there online, as well as the DW University with our new LMS learning, online learning system is all available, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. In addition to the online resources, we do have a number of people strategically placed, both regional sales managers, sales engineers, and a experienced team of manufacturers representatives across the country with product in hand, ready to do demonstrations, trainings, and answer your questions. So this team is available to you to get out there and come see you, or at least be close enough to support you out in the field. So today we're going to talk about the elevated skin temperature system, the E.S.T. And so we're going to give a quick little product overview of the E.S.T. and what it's designed to do. And it's really designed to automatically pre-screen everyone entering a building or a facility, okay? So it is just to be clear about the E.S.T system it's a security-grade thermal camera that provides a low-friction, contactless alternative to traditional screening methods. So where people are currently employing somebody to stand at the front of a building at the entrance and take people's temperature with a thermometer, this technology is deployed to speed that process up by using the technology to do a quick pre-screen of everybody, identify the people for additional screening using the E.S.T camera system. So we sell this as a complete kit. So a complete kit would be the dual sensor thermal camera with a high definition camera incorporated into one housing. So it's a dual sensor camera. as well as the black body temperature sensor, which is an important component of the system. And then you have the E.S.T software that makes it work, as well as we even include 2 tripods for the devices to mount onto so that you can quickly and easily deploy this solution. We do sell the black body and the camera individually, but we recommend the complete kit, and we'll get into the black body itself and why we recommend that black body. So the E.S.T Solution, it does self-calibrate in real time with that black body to provide high accuracy skin temperature readings. The camera itself has a 4 times larger sensor than some of the competing products out there in the marketplace to provide more data for higher accuracy. And then it is a high throughput pre-screening of people to detect and indicate elevated skin temperature at various distances. So there's some flexibility, and we'll get into as far as the read distances as well. Please note that this is not it's not a medical device. And so, you know, we're saying this is a pre-screened device that you would then use to investigate for further detection of fever. But it's a quick pre-screening device used for that. Get into the specifications of the product itself. We have a thermal camera as well as a 2.1 megapixel visible camera all in one housing, so that dual sensor camera itself. Each one of those that you see there, you'll notice, and I'll point this out a couple of times here, the interface. So the thermal is coming through the Ethernet interface, while the visible camera is coming through a USB 3.0 interface, and we'll show that here in just a second as well. It does come with the software that you can load onto a PC, and so the software will do will basically run the camera, use the black body as the reference point, and so to detect people. Product is covered with a 2-year limited warranty. So it is a complete standalone integrated solution. So this is really designed to work by itself. So we do make a lot of products. I mentioned DW Spectrum and the VMAX products, and those are all great solutions for what they're designed to do. This is designed to run as a standalone solution, and it's ideal for pre-screening at secured entrances of schools, offices, warehouse, various different types of locations. So one of the keys with this product is it is an easy to set up. It sets up in literally minutes. The thermal image is connected via that Ethernet connection, as I mentioned, while the visible image is connected via the USB cable. So there's a 3.0 USB connection that's making that. It's going to direct connect to that PC. You can take the camera and mount it. So we do provide the tripods in the kit, but if you wanted to wall or ceiling mount it, it's a universal mounting type device that you can attach to that. And so there are some additional outputs on the product itself. One of the outputs we use for an included LED strobe light, excuse me. So if you wanted to have the software light up on an alarm event, you can have that. We include that LED strobe light with the kit as well. And then there's an additional output if you wanted to attach it to additional alarm devices and so forth through that. You also have on the product itself is a local monitor output. So you can take the thermal view and you can bring that either via HDMI or composite output of the camera itself. As I mentioned, it is very flexible in terms of it is able to read from a number of distances. We recommend a 10-foot read, but you have between 6.5 and 16 feet of effective distance from the people. Keep in mind, you want to have that black body within the field of view of the camera, and that also we recommend to be about 10 feet, but you have 9.8 to 14 feet of effective distance from the black body itself. We recommend the black body be mounted at about 5 foot, hence the included tripods that come with it. Now, One of the questions that's already come in, and you'll notice on this particular slide, we're saying that you can set it to a single person scanning mode. That is the FDA recommendation. The camera and the software is capable of scanning multiple people. However, we recommend following the FDA guidelines in this case and setting the software and the camera up to scan in a single person mode, excuse me. Okay. So looking at the software itself, as I mentioned, the cameras connect directly to the PC. The software, once installed on the PC, will automatically, once you launch the software and you've got the cameras connected to it, the software will automatically find the black body in the field of view. So that's its reference point and providing its reference temperature. So it's providing that constant reference temperature. At that point, the software will do a self-calibrating in real time between the black body and the surrounding area. Through the software, you will get two views. You'll get the 2.1 megapixel view as well as the thermal view. There is a wide dynamic capability on that 2.1 megapixel view, but you do want to pay attention to later on when we get into the questions in terms of how you set this up. You want to be careful about what you're pointing the camera at and so forth. So I did mention the larger sensor. So it does have a 4-time larger sensor than some of the competing products out there. And really what that gets down to is it's the accuracy of the product, the amount of data it's able to collect with that thermal sensor to provide that thermal reading. So provides quite a bit of pixel data, raw thermal data to the software, and then the software is able to perform the calculations on the PC itself. So it's able to provide a highly accurate reading very quickly to set those alarms. So there you get an example of the software interface. You'll notice in the lower left corner there the history where each event, so it's being recorded there, and you've got in the main interface there, as I mentioned, the 2.1 megapixel view on the right, as well as the thermal view on the left. This is all completely configurable in terms of the colors, the bounding boxes, and then we'll get into also in terms of the temperature offset settings in here. So instant notification, the idea is to provide notification through the local client when additional screening is needed so that you can identify people and pull them out for additional screening. Automatic visual notification so that you can have that on screen. You can also have audible alarms. You can turn that on or off. As I mentioned, we do include an LED strobe with the camera. So if you want that to light up on an alarm event, you can have that light up as well. And then you do have the relay output if you wanted to connect that to other devices from there. Okay, so as I've talked a little bit about when we're saying the questions to consider, and as with all technology, the being deployed in the right application is most important. This slide's pretty wordy, but obviously, which screening method is best for your particular application. The two most important things are sensitivity and accuracy. Obviously, in this case, there are a lot of considerations that you should take into consideration when evaluating a solution out there, primarily like the use of a black body for reference, relative versus absolute readings. We'll talk about that. The number of people scanned, this is already just looking at the questions in the other monitor here, a constant question with this particular product. But again, the product itself is capable of scanning multiple people. However, in terms of recommendations and meeting the FDA guidelines, our recommendation is to set it in single person mode. So where to screen people is an important consideration I talked a little bit about earlier. The environmental factors such as airflow and sunlight can influence the accuracy of the measurement. So, you'll see in the first graphic there on the left, in the upper left, you don't want to, the big thing here is that you're going to put this at the entrance to a building. However, you want the camera, not necessarily, you don't want it pointed at that entrance. You don't want it pointed at that glass storefront. So you want to avoid pointing it towards the direct sunlight, so that you're not getting false alarms with this or influencing the calibration of the black body and the camera itself. You also want to pay attention in terms of fluorescent lights around the camera if you happen to ceiling mount the camera or something like that. And also keeping in mind, air ducts, cooling ducts, airflow around the devices, anything that's going to artificially raise or lower the skin surface temperature of the screening of the subjects as well as the devices themselves. A lot of questions about the black body device itself and what it is. So it emits a heat signature, providing a constant reference point. Okay, and it should be mounted within the camera's field of view, so it should be somewhere within the image that the camera is providing, so that when the person walks through, it has the ability to do a comparison between the black body and the person for that. Also keep in mind that the software is using that black body to do an auto calibration in real time. So, you come in the morning into a facility, it's cool outside. I mean, I work here in Florida, it's cool outside in the morning versus in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, the temperatures are going up. So throughout the course of a day, the temperature range is going to change, and the black body provides that calibration capability. Relative versus absolute, whether you're setting it too low or too high, too low where you're getting false alarms, where you're missing it. So within the software itself, you have this this offset capability so that you can make adjustments for that. So you can raise or lower it in the software settings for to make those adjustments for that particular location and that. So basically the process here, and we get into this in some of the videos that we talk about, that we'll talk about later, is the ability to go in and, you want to use a medical grade thermometer, you want to do a comparison, and you're going to go in and set that offset based on the people coming through that particular location. So location, location, location. Again, we mentioned it here. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I think I missed it back here. Again, I'm going to just, it is highly recommended using at least one black body per installation. We understand and will show that you can use this system without the black body. You can purchase the camera by itself. However, in terms of accuracy, you want to always use that black body. That's our recommendation with this particular product. The location, you want to keep other heat sources out of the camera's view. You want to avoid mounting the camera and black body under air ducts, as we've talked about, reflective backgrounds and windows and so forth. You want to install this facing away from the door at a 20-degree angle from the screening path, and you want people to go through one at a time as they're going through this is the recommendation for how you just set this up. So some additional documentation that we provide both on the website. There's links to it. We'll get into that in just a second here. But here's a quick little synopsis of a successful workflow using the E.S.T camera system. In terms of the recommendations, again, that 10-foot recommendation from the camera to the person with the screening, 10-foot recommendation from the camera to the black body device within the field of view. Number 5 down there, you'll see if you're going to set it up with the camera itself. This is not something I mentioned. It is a quick setup, but once you've set it up, you want to do a bake-in. Without a black body device, you're going to need 30 minutes before you want that system to be operational. You want 30 minutes for the camera to acclimate to a location. Using the black body and the camera itself, it can be 5 minutes. With that, okay? So we want to make sure that, it is set up correctly. It's not set up under fans and so forth for that. So we talked about some resources that are available. And so we've got a number, a lot of the information that you've seen on these slides. We've got a number of that information also available on our website so that, that you're able to use this and reference that later. So let me just kind of pop out of here for a second. And we'll go over here. And just so everybody is aware as they're going through this, you'll see here is the Digital Watchdog website itself with our banners rotating at the top. And first thing you'll see on the banner, the first one is the E.S.T camera. If you click that, you're going to land into the E.S.T landing page, which is going to provide a lot of this information about, which applications this is suitable for, some information about where to install it, how to screen, and then what you should do in terms of verification afterwards. And then you've got additional information, all the stuff that I've covered here so far in terms of the sensor, the read distances, and so forth, are all found on that landing page. From there, you can go to the product page. There's multiple links on that particular page, which will bring you to this product page, to where you can get into some of the specification and detailed information about the product itself, as well as some of the documentation. So focus on the documentation here for a second, just so you see that we do have a PDF available brochure, the data sheet, and the quick setup guide, as well as the features set, the specifications, the part numbers. So all the stuff that we've referenced, that we're referencing here in the PowerPoint, is available right on our website for further reference. So if we take a look at the brochure, you'll see that the, again, just being repetitive, but the information that we've covered is published here so that you can share this and make sure everybody understands this product and how it's supposed to be deployed. So you're not overselling it, not underselling it. Just being all those questions that we covered in the presentation are also part of this brochure. The setup guide, so you'll see again a lot of familiar information in the setup guide itself as far as setting up the camera and the camera connection. So this ships with every camera, but it is also on our website. Again, talking about if you want the visible view on your display is going to be with that USB cable versus the thermal camera coming from the Ethernet connection. It is an IP device giving you that thermal view. So we talk about how to set it up. This is, and one of the questions I noticed that came in, this is a standalone system. Okay, so there are ways that you can do this, but if you look at, you can incorporate this into other solutions, but, and we can talk about that one-on-one, but the product itself is going to ship with a default IP address, okay? And it's a fixed IP address to that, and then you're gonna set your computer up with the software that's installed on it with a similar IP address so that the computer and the camera are on the same network to get that thermal view. Now, if the computer that you have has multiple network interface cards, there's other things that you can do in terms of streaming that video out. However, for just the basic setup of this system and the recommendations as a standalone system, you'll find that here in the setup guide. The workflow that we just showed is also part of that setup guide because we think, this product needs to be properly installed. And so these references are there and available for further reference to the product so that you can apply that to particular locations and applications. And then of course, we've got the data sheet with all the specification information that we showed early on in the presentation with the product itself. Okay, so those are some of the resources that you'll find on the product page. You'll also find from the product page that you can get to our video channels. And I just wanted to point out in terms of some of the video resources that we have. So I brought up we both have both a YouTube channel and a Vimeo channel, but you'll see that we have a promotional video if you want to incorporate that into your websites. We have promotional information about the product itself, where it fits, how it works, you know, what it's solving. So it's solving this problem of having to have somebody stand there and scan people. So this is automatically doing the pre-screening of the product itself. The demonstration of the software and how it works is shown here in this demonstration video. So as people are walking through the office here, you'll notice that the black body is in the background there, and the camera is using that as the reference point. And then we also get into, we also have another video on the channel as well that's going to talk about the calibration and how easy it is to set up and calibrate. You know, once it finds that black body in the field of view, it's going to automatically do its calibration. But within here, you'll find an out-of-the-box experience. So when you order the kit, you get the camera, you get the black body, you get the tripods, the cables. So everything that it ships with is shown and displayed here, and we walk you through the setup of the product and how to calibrate it and set up the alarms with this. Okay, so just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that that information is available online. Okay, so we've got those promotional videos. Again, as I mentioned early on, we do have both regional sales managers, sales engineers, as well as a team of manufacturers representatives strategically placed across the country, ready to go out and do demonstrations with this product, to do trainings with this product. So if you want to see that, you can refer to our website, put an inquiry there. We can get it to the correct person for your area and have you guys connect as soon as possible with that. Just to kind of review in terms of the purchasing options of this product, we do sell it as a complete kit at ADI. So it has the dual sensor thermal camera, the black body calibration device, the software itself, the E.S.T software, as well as 2 device tripods for each one of the devices. Individual part numbers for both the camera and the black body are available if you want to need to purchase individual components to this particular product as well. Okay, so kind of ran through that pretty quickly. I saw a couple questions. I tried to answer them as I was talking here. Yeah, in terms of how many people can be scanned, the product is capable of scanning multiple people. However, we do recommend that you set it in a single person scanning mode to comply. To provide part numbers from other mounting options. So it's just in terms of it's a universal camera mount on the body of that camera, as well as on the black body. So it's just standard camera mounts. We can certainly look at ADI's system and get you some part numbers for other mounting options if you wanted to do this. Another question that had come in was regards to the connection to the NVR. And the software is going to record each one of the events, and so you'll have that available on that station there. And so it's really designed to be a standalone system. Not saying you can't incorporate it, but as it's being sold, we're setting that. Yeah, so it is the forehead. Is the question whether it's the tear duct or the forehead? So we're taking the temperature at the skin level for this, and need to know the max number of people that can be scanned. So there's no maximum number of people in terms of, again, scanning, put it in single person mode, but scanning can be continuous from there. Okay. All right. Any other questions from the group out there? I think I got them all answered. Michael, did you see any that I missed?
No, I cleaned them all up as you went so that we wouldn't miss any. If you have a question, would you mind raising your hand so that we know we're waiting for more things to come in? Stephen asked.
Do you provide an API? So we can look at that. As I've mentioned a couple times, it is pretty much a a self-contained system within itself with an alarm output. But we can, of course, Stephen, we can get back to you as far as the API goes and with the product.